geluba naqdogliyo nugal waa ku darara melay nabadi joogta.
Welcome to ISIRKA. My name is Amina Isir, and join me as I take you on a journey to explore identity, culture, and belonging. Take a seat as I take you through time, space, and various perspectives of cultural identity. Stay tuned to see where the journey will take us today. Alright, so this is the episode that I thought I would never do. But when The Weeknd first came out in 2011, I was in college. I was in, I think, my senior year of college. And I was writing my final paper for my undergrad when the Wicked Games dropped. And I just remember that, like, the beat drops, and and then he just sang, like, wah, from the bottom of his belly. So he just sang from the bottom of his belly, right? And then it was like nothing we had ever heard before at that time period. And he completely, like, took over music in probably a very specific way because he wasn't mainstream yet. But he really captured, like, the soul of, like, this angsty millennial, like, I have no feelings, but I'm gonna, like, self-medicate with other things, type of generation and view that we were, like, kind of all on. And I was like, wow. And then you didn't see him for a long time. That was the other thing. You never saw pictures of him. And they told us that his name was Abel Tesfaye. He was Ethiopian, but you never saw an image of him. So there was 3 guys, and you can kind of see some of their faces. And I just assumed, like, that he was, like, the darker skin, like, more African phenotype looking person. Now we know what The Weeknd looks like. And he was so shy. That was one of the main reasons that he was hiding himself. And I saw him in person in Philadelphia at the TLA, the Theater of the Living Arts. I think Nipsey even has a line. He's like, we just sold out TLA via blah, blah, blah. And he was so nervous and he was so shy. He wasn't even looking at everybody. Everybody knew all the words to all of his songs, and he was so shocked and surprised and appreciative. He was like, damn, like, y'all really showing love. But that's just how much everyone really fucked with him at the time, right? And during that time period, I was like, yo, it's so cool that he's like, he's owned his ethnic identity, right? Like, Malaga Kali Karo, he's Ethiopian. And then that gave young Ethiopian kids in the diaspora who still very much were, like, contending between their American upbringing and their, like, cultural heritage as to how to make the two fit together. This was a guy that said, I'm not going to play by the respectability politics of what the Ethiopian community wants me to do. He's an artist. He's going to talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like all artists do, like a lot of artists do. And everybody, like, not everybody, but a lot of people fucked with him on that. And I was like, yo, I would love to see what this would look like in a Somali context because me and Abel are the same age. So he probably came to Canada really young or maybe was born in Canada, right? But in a Somali context, a lot of people my age might have been born back home and then came here. So we had Kanan, who was a little bit older than us. And af Somali bukhadli chire, he really went back to all, like, the old traditional, like, sounds and, like, hati kala wahala ha ha hey. And, like, you know, he was related to Halima Khalif Magolla Haristo. So he had her on one part. So he really went back to, like, Somali cultural heritage, like, in a really real way, right? Nobody at that time was really, like, messing with the rules. I mean, there also, after that, there was, like, a huge, like, gangster hip-hop type of phase, and so you did see rappers, like, I remember Nomadic Status out of Seattle, they used to rap in Somali and in English, and I was like, oh, this is so cool! But we didn't have mainstream, you know, like, somebody big that was gonna just be Somali, but also be an artist, not be a Somali artist. I say all of that to say that today in 2021, I never thought that I would be doing this episode talking about Somali rappers from back home, but I am wholeheartedly a Sharma Boy fan. And I feel like past his music, there's a lot that, like, he's symbolizing that's really important to kind of highlight in this day and age, and really, like, dope of him to do so. And everyone used to talk about him like, oh, he's this TikTok artist, right? And then I was like, okay, you know, me, I'm still listening to, like, Sahar Ahmed and stuff, right? Like, I'm like, I don't really care. But then I listened to Ma'sankor, where he says this. I'm like, أنا وإكن مبلغ جوايا هالكن وويل أصاب بعد دلكن وحن وحكو أهيدتكن
مركن نبا يرو وكيا بيركن صعب هرتم كسو بحدركن أنا كم هلا وركن كليجي كلسوني بان سوق وليجي هذا واحد كجرا حليجي هذا يقول يمد أنا فديجي ولي كم كان صاحب سليجي Somali دب لدويس جيجي بقر جكر والهلكر إجا ما أهان إسقرقر ألا إجا ديجي مع سكر هودا السعودة سيدي قرقر مركن قال تعب.
And his flow is on point. Like, it matches the beat, and the beat is hard. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know why people were hating on him. Like, it was mad catchy. And his bars are fire, and he's just so unapologetically himself, and he has like this flex and swag that I understand from like American rap music, but to see it play out in a Somali context, in a youthful Somali male context, is so entertaining, and I'm so here for it, and I really gotta respect him. His beat is hard. His lyrics are pretty fire. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it might be basic Somali level, but I really respect them. And in this song, I really like this was the first Sharma Boy song that I like properly listened to. I was like, he's flexing in like a very US like centric type of way, to be like, look who I am, but then it's Somali. And then he still had that same like Wadani spirit that you always see in a lot of Somali artists and stuff. And I think that's really cool and really important that he's such a young person. He's like 20 years old. He's growing up in Mogadishu. He's very honest about his reality in a lot of ways. Like, he did songs talking about how like having a degree doesn't mean anything because there's no jobs in the country, and that level of honesty, transparency is something that we don't normally really see in our society, but that is like speaking truth to power, right? And then nobody can say that he's wrong in it. And then what does that do for a lot of other people that are watching him? That might give them all opportunity to then create their own lane to kind of, make a way for themselves, because art is still a very valuable way to increase something into society and to sustain a livelihood for yourself. Like, I feel like every time you look up, he has a new music video, he has a new song. He did that other video talking about how he ain't got no money, and he only has a few thousand shillings, and it's like this to buy some coriander, this the baby needs food, and this is all he got. And it's art, but art imitates reality, and reality is art, I also think the Desha Desha song, which honestly is just good vibes.
marka lays dhaxgalay desha desha dhaxda lays qabsaday la desha midka intu si iga damidaantada DJ musiga u dheere midka intu si iga damidaantada DJ iga damidaantada inaysi turka badanu liica ifshada gaaban dabaynu ciyaarne.
It's just kind of like, I just really appreciate the fact that he's wholeheartedly owning himself, right? So in Desha Desha, they're dancing in ma'awises in the streets. And I feel like, low-key, that's the only time I've ever seen a Somali man outside of a Badia context wearing ma'awises in, like, music videos and stuff. Like, they wear, like, got shal and stuff, but unless it's, like, on a regular day, like, young guys in ma'awises just dancing like young people. It just gives a way to have this freedom of expression. Like, you don't have to be just this and this and this and this. And then I like the pairing of him and Maslah Midaya too. I think that's really cute. And that's a way for them to also, I feel like them two together, coming together strategically. I don't even know if it's strategic, but them coming together and what they've been creating since they've come together is also a really cute way of showing brotherhood, of showing friendship, of showing what it's like to like actually like be like comrades. And with that, like, even when they did the song for Djibouti, they're in Mogadishu. And then Maslah is wearing a shirt that says Sharma Boy, and the Sharma Boy is wearing a shirt that says Maslah. They're like really so cognizant and focused on the fact that they're like the same type of people. One's from Djibouti, one's living in Hamar, but there's always like, we're the same. We're brothers, we're twins. It doesn't matter the tribal game. It doesn't matter country context. The Somali blood, the Somali identity, and the friendship we have as two people is important. And watch us like come together and see what we're gonna do. And then they went to Djibouti together, and then now they're in Getaway together. And they just dropped this new video, literally like 2 days ago. It's called Adigu Adiga Un Aho. And that means you just be yourself. And when you're growing up, our cultural context does not let a lot of people be who they want to be. It's always you need to be who your family wants to be. And that's the same with people everywhere in the world. But I feel like they are owning their individuality, they're owning their artistic ability, and they're owning their own way of making a sense of their reality. And that's what they're kind of promoting. So even while they've been in Getaway and Sharma Boy has had all this trouble, there's been a lot of like qabiyalit stuff, a lot of like unimaginable, like I feel like all the negative things that like retain within our culture have come out within this Sharma Boy context. And they've basically been solid in the fact that like, this is where we stand. We're all brothers. We don't care about tribe. We are all a family. And people are going to try to make our world smaller than it needs to be, or try to, I mean, what do the youth have to lose? Like, if there's nothing else that nobody can take from you, is that, you know, like, you have your voice at the end of the day. And the fact that this young kid, he's like, I don't care about anybody. Like, he's such a gissy. Like, I really give him props for this. But he's just going to speak his truth and whatever he's facing, and he's not going to play the respectability. He's just like, no, me and this person are brothers. Me and that person are brothers. Me and these people, we're not playing the tribal game. We've already, like, I mean, Somalis have suffered at the hands of tribal games for, like, the past 30 plus years. So even how they're going about that really shows a lot about his character, and really kind of sets him apart. Because if you know yourself and you own yourself publicly in front of other people, nobody can say anything about you, right? And that is why this first installment of Ragga Dambe is going out to Sharma Boy, because, like, just on principle alone, like how he carries himself and stuff like that, like, it really is a way to inspire. He's really kind of creating a lane, like, and I feel like it's just him just being himself, but really create a lane for a lot of other young people, and that individuality and creativity piece that allows you to then create your own life, is also something that is really salient from his artistry and his work. After Eid, he dropped that song, I'm King.
ninkay u ducaysa maayo waxaan deganahay madaxtooyo alla iga beere boqortooyo kii ifadaawna inta makooyo Soomaalina macnaa kaaga sokeeyo waa sax inaan kaa horeeyo raadkaba anaa u sareeyo armacad rag la isku haleeyo xamar yaa ka loo xoreeyo xarakeeyo cadowga xabsiga ku xareeyo mala ii geeyo I'm king, yeah. Immigrating, dhammaantiin waxaad u socotiin like diintiin waryaa istiin agteeda waxaad ku tahay maskiin everyday musigayga maqashiin laxankaygo kalama soo heshiin mana hartiin timaha dabadiin sida dumarkii dhagaha duratiin ciyaartiintiin nin raga waa kii soo mara jab waddada ka soo baxay waa jabjab howlgab oday waxaad noqotay gebgeb nasab waa inaad taageertaa qasab wiilkaa malahan qab qalbigu waa xabxab ku qabsa dhagkab qofkii ku ixtiraamana hab bigayga markay ku shideen dab dadkayga in noqdo garab waryaa edab kalab horta kee tahay dhadig iyo lab kuwa kaa daran baan dhulka ku jiida web waxaa taa laga yaabaa.
Like, and I'm King. I will give it to him. I can't believe I'm talking 10 minutes about Sharma Boy, but I'm King is a dope ass song, and like he really like just went there, like. And I watched some like non-Somali YouTubers responding to that song, and they can't understand the words, but the beat and then his flow on the beat like just goes so hard. And then, you know, he was in Djibouti a little bit, so then he had a little French 1-2-1-2, and I was like, okay, go ahead, Sharma Boy. Like, music and art is something that will really kind of expand your world, expand like opportunities for you, and so he's really showing what that looks like especially like in a Somali context, somebody who's in the country. And I like the fact that he keeps pushing himself. He keeps adding on different things. And so after his getaway like drama and he came out, he did Wasah with Deqsan Abdi Nasir Ma'alan Aidid. First of all, the videography of that is so clean, is so beautiful. And I really got to give Deqsan props. Like, she did a couple songs with Qamar Sugani last year and the year before, really kind of pushing the button on like what Somali music is going to look like. Like, Qamar Sugani used to kind of do, like, he kind of pushes the button, adds a different sound, and she was like right there with him, like cool, like, and very cool videography as well. But Wasah with Sharma Boy and Deqsan Abdi Nasir, like,
وصح قلبي قصيدتها صح 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 وصح والنهار ترنتاي وصح صح صح سينبك ما هريكر وصح صح 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 يا قلد وانك جعلها صح 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 وصح قلبي قصيدتها صح 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 وصح والنهار ترنتاي وصح صح صح سينبك ما هريكر وصح صح 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 يا قلد وانك جعلها صح 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 وصح قلبي قصيدتها صح 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 وصح والنهار ترنتاي وصح صح صح سينبك ما هريكر وصح صح 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 يا قلد وانك جعلها صح وصح أني قبل أحكح مركب كوركي وح وحنا غذي وحكلي وصح
فردقي تعالكني صح فردقي تنسوني سر ويساعدي عالم ويساعدي عالم
وصح قلبي قصيدتها صح صح صح.
Gives me Drake vibes. Like, when Drake came on the scene with this like sing-songy R&B, like, and R&B rap, so you have like her melodic voice and he's kind of singing and then he's rapping as well, and the beat is like soft, so it's like kind of a soft song, and like it just works together so well. Like, and it sounds so nice and it's very catchy. Like, I'm not mad at it, you know, like these couple songs, I'm not mad at them, and like I can't hate on them. So like I really respect it. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing like as his artistry develops and things like that. And a lot of people and Americans are saying the same thing. Like, music isn't what it was before, but the people also aren't like who they are. Situations are different. He's somebody who's still, like, I gotta give it to him. Like, I really respect how much Somali nimada, like, like, and how that's really important to him. And he's, like, displaying, like, those classic traits of, like, what artists before used to be. Like, an artist, if you're a Somali-speaking artist, you belong to all Somalis. You shouldn't kind of corner yourself to say, oh, I'm from this city, I'm from this country, so this is all that I'm gonna, like, no, you belong to everybody. And so the fact that even at his age, he's like, okay, I'm going to do a song for Somaliland, I'm going to do a song for Mogadishu, I grew up in Mogadishu, I'm going to do a song for Puntland, I'm going to do a song for Djibouti, I'm going to do a song for everywhere, Somali with a dicto. Really is he's kind of like, in a way, really owning kind of the narrative as to how things are supposed to go. I feel like a lot of people kind of got lost in the sauce, and now he's like, showing that he could do better. And if he's 20 years old, then he's still going to have his 20-year-old problems. We were all young, 20 years old at one point. You know, nobody's perfect. But you got to get up and you keep going. I say all of this to say that I'm here for Sharma Boy. And this little mini episode about Sharma Boy is the first installation of a series on Ragga Dambe, profile on Somali male artists and vulnerability, that I will periodically be dropping. Because I think the biggest thing, music came about in a Somali context as people started moving into the cities. And as modernization and development started happening, as we kind of move into cities, as we kind of move into modernity, then the people are also changing. So that couldn't show. Like Hadrawi, I watched him say that when he was 4 years old, he couldn't cry because they told him he was a man, you know? He was a nomad, living a very harsh life, so he had to adkeyo. Imagine what those same adults would say to him as a older man when he's writing all these love songs, you know? And so I think it's important to give people their props to kind of discuss and speak a little bit about the Somali artistry. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned at this point is Somali art and music is what will give us a space for free expression and to feel things. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's the only thing that's gonna make us human. So inshallah, stay tuned. This was the first installation of Ragga Dambe, a profile on Somali male artists and vulnerability, on Sharma Boy, my newest favorite rapper, and I will unapologetically bump some Sharma Boy. So let me know what your favorite Sharma Boy song is, and inshallah, stay tuned for the next episode.
ku kala naqroono meel wanaafaba